Welcome to another episode of the podcast. This is the platform where we talk about the school and the culture and the people behind it. My name is Helga and I'm the host for this episode. And today I'm sitting with Leonel.
Hello, Helga.
Who are you, Leonel?
Who am I? Oh my God, that's a very direct question. Who am I?
Starting with the big.
At the moment, I have an answer that is, I'm a human being here trying to find my way in Aarhus. Related with the KAOSPILOT, well, I'm a former student of KAOSPILOT from Team 26. And right now, I'm the leader of an organization called ReDI School in Aarhus. More of that later.
More of that later. So you're from Team 26, and that means you graduated 1 year ago. What have you been up to in that year?
Well, it felt very like the very smooth path into like the real world.
Yeah.
Because
Out
I've been
the KAOSPILOT bubble.
Exactly. It is a bubble, but it's a bubble that it's still very close to reality.
Yeah.
It's a good playground, I would say, and that playground let me also lift what I'm doing right now. I should start from the beginning of where it started. When Corona hit, I don't know if you have heard about it. There was something called Corona.
Yeah, I feel like I can recall a little bit. Yeah.
It's the internet.
Yeah.
So we were already messed a bit up with our semesters. So there were many things that we have been doing that were supposed to be in the last semesters of KAOSPILOT. I found my way of what I wanted to do because of that encounter of semesters that were supposed to be at the end. So
they kind of shuffled them up.
Yeah. So we were doing semester 5 on second year.
Okay.
So, and that was very good because I felt that I really needed a challenge, and it was perfect for me what we were doing at the moment, and my mindset at that point. So while we were doing that, we were doing a project in the Netherlands.
Okay.
In the middle of our lockdown. So we were not supposed to do that. We were the only ones that went over there.
Hardcore rebels.
Yes, and it was very good. It was super nice, and we made up a contract with the people over there because they over there in the Netherlands they had a even harder lockdown, and
yeah, I can imagine.
They were supposed to be inside your homes at 10 or something like that. So we were officially changing lights in churches. So if any police would come to us and ask, what are you doing out here at this time? We were like, oh, it's because we are changing lights.
But what was the project about? I'm so confused.
We will get there. There's so many things happening in this.
There was Corona.
Yes.
And if the police asked, we said we were changing the lights in the churches.
It was confusing times.
Yeah.
But there was a time where I was learning a lot on so many levels, and at the same time I was working because I have to say I'm a little bit older. I think I was the oldest, if maybe the second oldest in my team. Mm-hmm. So and I had 2 kids, so I needed to also do some work. So I was going back and forth from Denmark, especially in the weekends, taking the train. That was very exciting. Like taking trains and planes that were absolutely empty. It was very interesting to do that. And at some point I met the founder of ReDI School, she's a former KAOSPILOT. Her name is Anna. And I hear about what she was doing, and I thought it was very interesting. Kind of like it hit a chord in me, and I felt very, very excited about what she was doing. And it kind of it made so much sense when I hear it. I was like, duh, why is there not more things like that around?
And the ReDI School.
It's a ReDI School.
What is? Okay, we will get to that as
well. We try to make this a very complex thing one step at a time.
Yeah, of course. I will buckle up.
Okay. So I talked with her. It's a little bit over 2 years ago, and I asked her, why don't we open a ReDI School in Aarhus? I had all my intentions to stay here in Aarhus, and why don't we open one here? She was like, let us have a chat. We have a chat together, and then we talked with the CEO of ReDI School at that point. Her name was Ida, and we talked together before the vacations at 2021, and they were like, okay, we're gonna answer you after the summer vacation. And I was like, oh my god, I really
wait.
Exactly. It was like the longest 3 weeks ever for me. I was, oh my god, and I had in my calendar, you need to contact them like this day, and that day I was like, please answer me. And they answered, and I was like, yes, let's do it. And then I just started. We were supposed as a team, I'm sure I am allowed to say this, but as a team we were supposed to go to Berlin. My team went to Berlin.
Yeah.
And I asked for a special permission to stay in Aarhus because of my kids, and I really needed to work, and also because I really wanted to. I knew what I wanted to do, so I wanted to lift and use my time in doing ReDI School. So most of that part of the year, which it was at the last part of 2021, I used my time to try to understand what ReDI School was and how to do it, and try to also learn how to lift money, like lift funding.
Yeah.
I've never done that before. I thought it was like magic.
And then when you get behind the curtains, you see that there's a lot of work behind it, and it's
great.
magical.
Have you tried?
Yeah, I've tried. Yeah,
okay.
One time.
But
it was a little magical. I will admit that. The time I tried.
But it's fine. I mean, at that point, I was like, how can you just make other people give you money? I was like, how is that possible? I come from Chile, and there nobody gives you just money for free.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you do that? I used a lot of time on trying to find out how to do it, and in the last a year and a half, I've learned so much how to do it. I've lifted more than 10 millions in the last 10 years, a year and a half.
Okay.
Because I really dedicated my time, and that's the magic about KAOSPILOT, is because it is a space, but I always call it a playground, where you can just throw yourself out to do whatever you really want to do, and that space that the school hold for me because I really believe what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Give me the time to explore what I needed in order to make it happen. And I made it happen. Today we are an organization where here in Aarhus we are 5 in the office, and we are next semester having 110 students, more than 50 volunteers, working with I don't know how many, 20 to 30 partners. Okay. And we are really making a huge impact, putting a lot of women into jobs. And maybe this is now the part where I tell you what ReDI School is, right?
I think we're really missing that at this point.
Yes.
Because it sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
But what is the essence of it? What is ReDI School?
Oh, well, I hope to not disappoint you then.
Okay.
So, ReDI School, we are an NGO that offers free IT courses to women with a refugee and immigrant background. So, when you, as a KAOSPILOT, look at ReDI School, you see and smells KAOSPILOT all over the place, and it's crazy. But if you don't know how the KAOSPILOT education works, it seems very chaotic and kind of like how ReDI School works, but it works.
Yeah.
And you only understand it that it has a very holistic way of doing things. So what we basically do is that we believe that these women, they can achieve their dreams, and we do it supporting them in different ways. So they have these 12-week courses in IT that can be data analytics, JavaScript, cybersecurity, that we do it together with Microsoft. Something else. I have no IT background. I have no idea.
I really thought you were an IT guy.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Could have been.
Well, do I look rich?
Yeah, could.
But this I have no idea. But we gather the people that knows, and we together we co-create the material, and they're also IT experts, the ones that teach the classes. So there's like these 12 weeks courses that happens once a week, 3 hours. But we also offer these workshops that are about leadership. A lot of things that we learn at KAOSPILOT on communication, leadership. I don't know if you still have Agile or Scrum, but we do that. It's very important in order to how to manage a team. And a part of that, they also have a project that they have to do, and it's basically how you approach the projects at KAOSPILOT.
Okay, so they do everything, all this within their 12-week course.
Yeah, but they also do more.
Okay.
They also have
more.
There's more. There are also company visits.
Okay.
So we partner with some companies, and they go there, and we do different workshops with them. For example, there's a big company in Denmark called KMD, and we do mocking interviews with them. So basically, they have never been in a work interview before, and they try how to do it. And if they have been before, they never had gotten any feedback on what they're doing wrong. It can be culture, it can be many things. And when in that space that we hold, they get some tough love. So they get really to know what they're doing wrong. And it's a very, it's because we hold a safer space for them having an understanding this is a space for growth. They know that where all the feedback that they get is for them to get to the goal that they want to. They're all women with refugee and immigrant background. Some of them are spouses, but what the commonality that they have is that they are feeling very lonely, and that all of them, they have a master's degree in something and experience from their own country, but they have basically been ignored in Denmark because it is not acknowledged what they have learned or what they have been working with, because there's so many cultural barriers.
Yeah, there's a lot of degrees as well that aren't recognized in Europe.
Exactly. Yeah, and all these women are from outside the EU, so it's very different. Yeah. That's basically what ReDI School is. Apart from I could have also talked about mentorship that we do with some companies and demo day and other things, but I think that's enough, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or like at least it's enough for us to understand a little bit.
Let's talk about what KAOSPILOT.
It's easier. I'm wondering, before we move on to KAOSPILOT, how do you reach your participants, or how do your participants reach you?
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you for your question.
Yes, you're welcome.
Well, our target groups are very different. So the school is divided in two legs, if you want to. So we have the tech, with all those courses of things that I don't understand. And we have also the beginner's course. The tech, they're kind of easy to reach. It's also social media, but also we do partnerships with the international community and other organizations or big companies that they know these women, because some of them are women that have come to Denmark because their husband got a job here.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting at home for years doing nothing. And they're like, well, of course.
It's boring. Get bored.
Yeah, it is actually very a lonely thing.
Yeah.
Like, no, maybe at the beginning they were with their kids, but the kids got older and it's not that fun to hang out with mom anymore. So they really need. I was in that position also when I was getting my resident permit in Denmark. So I was doing that basically for a year, and it's awful. Yeah. It's very hard to do nothing.
I can only imagine.
I mean, everyone dreams and says, wow, I hope that I can do nothing. It's horrible. It's horrible to be forced to do
Especially if
nothing.
it's not your own choice, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just that you feel powerless. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we do. Like we empower them, and we also have this other target group. There are women that are refugees that have been here for way longer time, maybe 15, 30 years.
Okay.
And they start with computers in a very basic way. We give them a laptop, and we teach them how to use a mouse, or where do you turn on the laptop.
Yeah.
It's very basic, starting from there and going all the way up to how do you go into your own bank. Like we are in a very digital society, and these women, they're marginalized from this part of the society.
Yeah, they have not been in contact with the digital world in those ways, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that I mean, they get help from some people from the municipality, but the people of the municipality, of course, they don't have the time to teach them.
Yeah.
You really need to to use 12 weeks to go step by step on how to do it, and we go up all the way up to the level where they get to understand how to apply to jobs by themselves. And we have some experience of women that they have been 10 years out of the job market, and they got a job, and it was amazing.
Okay, beautiful.
It's super nice. And we're also doing these courses for women that dreams to study a health assistant, that are very necessary today in Denmark, but they are missing on how to even to apply into those schools, and we teach them how to do it.
Okay.
With them we just go out. We go out there to the ghettos, to everywhere, cultural houses, and we go out there and talk about ReDI School and the opportunities there.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of introduce it in the places where
you need to.
People live.
You cannot reach them.
You go out to them.
Exactly. You cannot reach them by TikTok.
No.
Or maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's not the best place to reach them, at least.
Who knows?
It's an assumption. But back to where you came into this picture. So as I understand, ReDI School is a concept that has already been established and created by someone else. You have established it in Aarhus.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Like, where did your interests spark from? And how did you get in touch with it?
Yeah. So as you said, like the concept of empowering women, it is mostly in Denmark that is only focused on women, and also in Sweden. But this started in Germany by Anarchia, and there's all immigrants and refugees that they even kids and teenagers. The concept is kind of similar, but we are 10 locations right now, but we all have big differences. I would say that we are very very KAOSPILOT-ish.
Okay.
Because I am a KAOSPILOT, so I just really would like to do things that way.
Yeah.
But it's normal. I mean, everything it's about the culture and the people that is involved in each location. So there's some basic things and some frames that are there of how to do some stuff, but other things has to do a lot of the people that is involved. But the concept started basically that I don't know if you remember in 2015 the refugee crisis with the refugees walking on the motorways.
Yeah.
They're coming for your jobs and your woman. Oh no, run away.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? Parenthesis.
Yes.
at that point, I was working in Germany.
Okay.
And that year, and someone, people was of course talking about that. The refugees are coming, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? I thought it was very weird how people talk about it.
Yeah, it became a really weird discussion, and it still is today in many ways.
You were in Iceland, right?
Yeah.
How was it there?
think it was
The motorway was not all the way over there.
no. I think the motorway does not go all the way to Iceland. That is true, but I think it's in some way it's like the same element. It's some sort of like, I don't know if you can call it like privileged racism or something like that, where you kind of like want to protect the privilege you have and like the goods you have in your country, and you don't want anybody to come and take it away from you. That would be horrible. But I think it's more like, maybe it's a little more distance to it, but the discussion in some sense was the same, even though maybe the fear of the immigrants, parentheses, coming and stealing our jobs was not a realistic problem yet. But, you know, it's the same discussion, the same prejudges, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a very, very awful way to say it. Like coming here to get your jobs and the women. Somebody told me that in Chile, and I was like, where's that place? I want to be there. I want to get all the jobs and the women. No. Okay. That was a joke.
Might be cut out.
Damn it. Okay.
Okay. But you got into the contact with school through this former KAOSPILOT who had already been working with it, right? The ReDI School.
But that's basically, I mean, the magic about KAOSPILOT, that you go out and do projects where you maybe try to do things that you wish to do or follow someone else in order to develop or a new skill or try new things. And then you end up meeting a lot of new people and networking around and getting to know people that might be part of your future. At KAOSPILOT, it's just that the space of learning how to learn and how to just throw yourself out and to do things, and understanding that you need other people in order to get far. And you just go out and talk with other people, let your ego stay on the front door.
Yeah,
and
leave your ego outside.
So nobody's just waking up in the morning and like, I'm gonna mess some lives. So
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Not me. Are you?
No.
No. Okay.
But and maybe we'll move a little bit into like the learnings.
What are your learnings at KAOSPILOT until now?
So many.
Yeah, but you're finishing your first year, right?
Yeah. I'm about I have a month left. But I think there's been a lot of learning so far. But I'm really curious in like how or if you can see like some specific learnings or some maybe big takeaways that you got through the education that has really like shown itself in the work with the ReDI School and like afterwards. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. Yeah, it does. Actually, oh my God, today. Maybe I shouldn't be so specific on things that happened today, because then I know that people's gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, oh my God, is that what happened in your head? But okay, full disclosure, it's fine. It's fine. But it's something that at that point, KAOSPILOT, something clicks in me.
Yeah.
And I understood that if you really want to make an impact, you need to be a leader and that means that you have to also have your skin in the game. I totally got away from the facilitator persona. I was very into facilitation.
Okay.
It was very interesting, and I practiced it for a year and a half or something, and I felt very confident on that. But I realized that at some point that there's a big difference between facilitating and being a leader. You can lead a team into what you believe, and the team can follow you, and you can maybe facilitate some parts of the process for your team in order to do co-creation with them. But you are the one doing the calls because you have the vision. As a facilitator, if you don't have the skin in the game, you're just there like, oh, you you do the thing and you take the decisions, and if it's everything burns, it's your fault. I'm just here facilitating.
You don't have as much at stake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's one thing to be a leader, and the leader has to take some tough decisions and also act in certain way in order to maintain a healthy team.
Yeah.
So, for example, this morning something happened, a miscommunication in the team into some meetings we needed to do very early in the morning, somewhere away. I think that 3 years ago or 4 years ago, let's say at the beginning of KAOSPILOT, let's say that hypothetically I have done the following at the beginning of KAOSPILOT. Someone didn't communicate as good as they should have done, and I did all the effort in order to come on time and what was needed from my side. For me to come on time, it's taking my kids as fast as possible if it's before 8, so to get them into the institution, and like everything needs to be a little bit faster in the morning. And I really like to have my morning to have time and space for my kids, that if they want to smell a flower, so they can just smell the flower for 10 minutes. And it's fine. I want them to have that space.
Yeah.
And I don't really like to rush everything because they can feel it. But sometimes it's needed, and if it's needed, let's do it. But that means also that if I put my part, I also would like that the others put their part. Before KAOSPILOT, I would have just been angry, because it would have been my ego speaking, and not the bigger picture on what is actually important and why we're doing the things that we're doing. But now this morning for me, I reflected about that afterwards, that it was of course at the beginning I was like kind of like but it took me just like breathe deep and think about the big picture and see the opportunity out of what was happening at that moment, and what was the most important thing, and that the thing that we were doing, the event that we were doing, was happening, and it was happening in a good way, and it doesn't matter whatever I was feeling. The most important thing was that we were going to impact more people. So I think that change happened because of KAOSPILOT, and I don't know how.
It's beautiful. So what is
Can you feel the hand?
I felt the hand.
Can you please tell me how fast was this? It's really.
The hand.
And I mean, I think that he cut some minutes from us.
It's 5 minutes left.
Oh man. Okay.
Gotta speak really fast then.
Okay.
We can get it on into this episode.
Okay. Oh, damn.
No. But yes, I'm wondering, like, what is a good leader to you?
What is a good leader to me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I think a lot of people have their own perspective on what it means to be a good leader and how that looks like.
Yeah, right.
What does it mean to you?
That's interesting. What a good leader is. So, for some months ago, we needed to hire our new CEO at ReDI School, Denmark, and me and Helga and other two in the organization in Denmark. We went through a process, and it was very an important part of that process. What is a good leader? And I got for me it was kind of like, oh, of course this is a good leader. I need to reflect about that anyway. But I think at this moment of time in 2023, I believe that a good leader is someone that empowers a team to become the best that the team can become, and hold a space for them. And holding a space has many names. It's holding the process for the team to keep a certain rhythm in order to achieve certain goals that a good leader would co-create together with them. The leader holds the vision, but co-creates the milestones in order to get there. And a good leader knows where the final goal is, but it doesn't really care how to get there, because otherwise you are just a manager.
Yeah.
That you're just managing to get from A to B. You just, as a good leader, you just hold a space for people, for growth.
That's beautiful. Why KAOSPILOT?
Why KAOSPILOT?
Yeah, why KAOSPILOT for you?
Oh, you're not gonna like this answer.
Bring it out.
Bring it out?
Yeah.
Well, KAOSPILOT means many things for many people.
It
right?
does. It does.
And that's beautiful. And I think that KAOSPILOT came to my life in a different way.
Yeah.
Because I heard while I was at KAOSPILOT that everyone knew what KAOSPILOT was. Or, well, at least for me. And
beforehand.
Beforehand. And they were like, oh yeah, I hear about KAOSPILOT from my granddad or whatever. or someone. Yeah. I know someone. I was like, I never hear about KAOSPILOT before. I knew Nicolas Arroyo from Team 18. He made Bespoke. Today it's called Mayonnaise. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, they just changed the name.
Yes, that thing. And I knew him. He's also from Chile. Hello, Nick, if you're listening. And I thought it was very, very funny what he was doing. And I asked him, like, what is that weird thing that you're doing? Because I got very interested into studying in Denmark. Because when I moved here, I was working in a company as a key account manager. And I was doing good money for the company, but I found out that I was doing less money than others that were in the same position as me, and were doing less money for the company. And the excuse was that it's because I didn't have a degree from Denmark. And I was like, well, might be fair. I mean, I'm a lawyer, but from Chile, kind of like, doesn't matter here. But I have some capabilities, whatever. So I thought, well, if I actually want to make a life in this country, I should study something. And I definitely didn't want to study law because it is super boring.
And do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a part of that. I mean, studying is fine, but it was very, very boring to like actually do it every day. There's actually out there an article of me in the Aarhus University of like why I choose KAOSPILOT instead of whatever.
So for anyone interested, they can go check that out.
Yes, they can go there. But I choose KAOSPILOT because for me, it was the place that was easiest to enter, to apply, and to just get an education.
Okay. Wow.
I know.
I've never heard anyone say that before.
I know. And I want to tell you something that Tora, a former team leader at KAOSPILOT, once told me. Is that there's kind of a myth around that it's hard to apply to KAOSPILOT. And it started because at KAOSPILOT, when you apply, you need to do something. Instead of like in the rest of the universities that you don't need to do something, you just like apply with your marks from school, and because you need to do something, people interpret this as if it's hard. But if your heart is in the right way, when you apply, it's not hard. You are just starting the process of something magical that is going to happen in your life. So I didn't feel that it was hard for me at that point. I know I'm not diminishing that. No. I know, and I have friends that it took time for them to apply. But just to say, applying to KAOSPILOT, you just need to be in that middle ground of you apply here while you're in a bus, then you don't care how you're applying. And over here you are applying, thinking and overthinking every single step of what you're saying and doing. So how to apply it to KAOSPILOT is right in the middle.
So between the overthinking and being really loose and chill about it.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle, there's a balance.
Exactly. And Helga, I have to tell you, I feel some hands moving around there, like very, very.
I think the time is up.
Oh my God.
But it has been really, really, really nice.
But I didn't have to talk about you. And I didn't
have to save that for another episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Or we can have lunch together sometime.
I like that idea.
So that was it for today's episode. Thank you.